You can begin whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you all for coming today. My name is Shoichi Kuriyama. I'm from National Institute of Technology, Toyama, Japan. At first, I apologize. In document, my presentation title is Computer Simulation Technology, but my today's title is How Fast Are Supercomputers? A little bit different, but it is more interesting for you. So please enjoy the lecture. So at this end, we will cover the main three topics until the end of this lecture. The first topic is props. Props is a unit indicator for the computational ability of computer or person, etc. Second is how fast. How fast means how fast is your computational ability or supercomputer. Okay? And finally, top 500 list. It's a current situation of supercomputers. I will introduce our business. Okay? And today I have only 20 minutes. So if we have some questions or comments, please hold yourself until the end of the lesson. Okay, let's get started. So first, I have requests for everyone. Okay? Okay. Please answer the following calculation. Okay? It's very simple and easy calculation. I prepare 3 equations. Okay? Do you have any watches or timer? No problem? Okay? So please measure the calculation time by yourself. Okay. It's about 20 seconds calculation. Ready? You can see, okay? Yes. Ready, set, go. Go ahead. Now 20 minutes, so it's time. Everyone finished? Okay? Yes. Okay, I'd like to finish. Okay. Okay. Next task. How many plus and minus operations in the 3 equations? Any ideas?
5 minus 5 plus.
What? Okay, 5,
Total of 10.
3, 4, 5. Yes, yes, that's right. Minus is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 10 operations in that. Okay. Okay, next. How many operations could you calculate in 1 second? You can calculate this value by this equation. Please input your calculation time and please calculate. And please let me know your value.
0.5.
0.5. Good score. 5?
0.6.
0.6. Wow.
0.25.
0.5. Not too bad.
That's 0.4.
2.4. Yes. Good. Okay. Okay. This value define floats, named floats. It is defined as floating point operations per second. That means the floating point operation means at the moment plus, minus, multiply, and division. And the floating point means the operations for the decimal fractions. Okay? So this is an indicator of the computing performance. So how much float is required for the computer simulation? The last lecture, I explained the slide. It is the ocean current simulations method. You can see a huge number of small squares. And we must make equations on each computational cells. So finally, we must calculate the huge number of simultaneous equations for the simulations. Okay? And finally, we must calculate huge matrix for simulation. And it is very difficult, I guess. You might hate. I also. Please see actual equation for the ocean current simulation. A little bit easy. Because the first one is the water elevation equations, and second and third are the flux equations. At the moment, you don't have to understand the equation meaning exactly at the moment, but please count the operations in the equations. How many operations can you find? Operations means plus, minus, division, and multiply.
Total operations or each one?
Each one.
Each one.
Please count.
Okay.
How many operations?
7 for the top one.
Okay. Quite right. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. Okay.
Almost.
Almost. Okay. And in equations, how many equations?
6 operations.
6. Yes, that's right. 6. And same shape. So we must calculate 20 operations for the one computational cell. So we made this area the 15,000 computational calculation. So we have to calculate 300,000 operations for this simulation. So if your plot is 1, 1, you need 300,000 seconds to calculations. Okay? How many days? 300,000 seconds. Okay? It's 3.5 days. You must calculate 3.5 days in each second. If you have one block ability, but you 1 week task for you. Okay. It's very boring. Very boring, not impossible. So we'd like to use a computer. So the first I introduce about the history of supercomputers. Okay. It is history of supercomputer. The first supercomputer is ENIAC. The ability of the machine were 300 flops. It is about 300 times faster than you. Okay? Nuclear flops as well. Mid-17th, early 18th, the ability is megaflops level. And early 19th, the ability of supercomputers were exceed gigaflops level. Personally, I use CM5 for my master thesis, so I have a lot of good and bad memory. It is very fast, but it's convenient for you. And end of 19th to early 2000, the ability of supercomputers are teraflops. And I used T3E for my doctor thesis, so it was a good computer for me. And you can see the T3E and the CFO. Okay. And next, I asked you, what is your laptop CPU? A lot of answers were the Intel Core i7. How fast is the CPU? How fast? Any idea? Teraflops level?
Gigaflops.
Gigaflops? That's nice. Okay. Yes. It is 15 to about 200 gigaflops level. So my master thesis computer CM5 ability is about the same ability. It was 20 years ago, the fastest computer in the world. Okay. So very impressive result for me. Because the CM5 occupies the room, about half size of this room. And every time, about 20 degrees Celsius air conditioned. But in the moment, you can use the front of you. Very impressive. Okay, the finally, I introduce about the top 500 lists. This is the fastest computer list in the world. Every June and November, is open this list. So I'd like to introduce about the June 2014 list, but the list will be open 23rd in this month. So it is the newest one at the moment. The fastest computer in the world at the moment is Milky Way 2. It was in China. The ability is 33 petaflops. Have you ever heard peta? Peta is 10 to the power of 15. Very huge number. Okay. And Japanese K computer. I guess you have ever heard the K, many K. The 10 petaflops. So the end of this section, I talk about the K computers. It is a K computer. It's very big, very cool, cool design. So, have you ever heard the origin of the name of K? Kyoto. Why do you think so, Kyoto?
Kanji, it means Kyoto.
Kyoto. Good point. But not Kyoto.
I have one. Okay.
Okay.
And K. And measure and scale.
That's good. That's right. The Japanese define 10 to the power 16 ikke. So the Japanese engineer would like to achieve 10 petaflops ability by this computer. So they named the computer K with their ambition. Okay? So when I heard this story, I felt a strong passion of the Japanese engineers. So I like their stories and I like this machine very much. Okay, next. Please compare the ability in computers and your laptop. Your laptop is 224 gigaflops. Okay? And the computer is 10 petaflops. 10 peta means 10 million gigaflops. So this is about 44,642 times faster than your laptop computer. But you will be able to get this abilities machine 20 years. Maybe. Very fantastic. And next, please compare. You have 1 flops. Okay, computer 10 petaflops. Of course, 10 petaflops times faster than you. But 10 petaflops, 10 peta, how long, how big 10 peta, how fast? Do you imagine? Can you imagine? The case 1 second task, case 1 second task is similar. 370 million years task for human. For people, 1 people. It's very, very fast. Okay. I have now to end my lectures. I'd like to summarize lectures. The first, I talk about the flops. And we checked our computational ability. It was about the 576. And this value is used for the indicator, the supercomputer's ability. And second, I introduced about how fast is that means you and laptop and historical supercomputers and real-world flops and history of supercomputers. And your laptop has a 200 gigaflops ability. And this ability is same as about 20 years ago supercomputers, fastest supercomputers in the world. And third, I talk about the top 500 list in November 2013. The fastest supercomputer was reviewed in China. It was 33 petaflops, very fast. And the Japanese K computer was the fourth fastest supercomputer, so 10 petaflops. And about 44,000 times faster than your laptops. And when you explain your friend or family about the supercomputer, please remember what I said. The 370 million years human task for case 1 second task. It's very impressive. Okay?
That's right.
It was a pleasure being here today. Thank you very much. If you have any Yes.
Is this an ancient or traditional unit in Japanese
Yes.
language?
Yes. In many Oriental regions, traditional unit.
So I'm surprised they have a number so big.
Yes.
In ancient.
And I'm not sure about the large number were defined.
Okay.
Nowadays, I could imagine these computers might be used, for example, for military purposes or something like that. In the case of the K computer, which is the main task you assign, like, I don't know, nowadays, this year, what are you doing with it? Maybe it's confidential, I don't know. Whether the purpose of this computer is just pure research, or you are really applying to something like very specific. Oh, sorry, my question. What are you using for this computer currently?
What is this computer doing?
Computer for?
What's the job?
Current
this
application.
machine?
Yes.
I am a coastal engineer. I research about the simulation of coastal engineering, so I use this machine to get for the tsunami disaster.
Tsunami simulation. Is that the main job of this computer? This
No,
kind
no,
of-
no. A lot of jobs.
Weather simulation.
Whether, of course, yes. And to make a new medicine. But I'm not sure about the method for the medicine simulation.
So anything that requires millions of calculations,
Yes.
it could be useful.
Yes. If we pass the competition, you can use it. They are free for academic use.
Can you predict the result of tomorrow's football game?
Okay.
I'm worried.
It is maybe easy because Japanese will win. No need simulation.
May I know how much does this K1 cost?
Oh.
The cost of this machine?
Of course, it's in my memory,
Yeah.
but 10 billion yen per year.
The maintenance cost
Yes.
per year.
Yes.
To build this equipment? It's okay, it's okay.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I will come. Next question.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Something I usually do, it depends on where I'm teaching and the group. I sometimes use this to get some reaction from the audience. But today, Dr. Furuyama was able to just generate a smile from the very start. And it made me feel very comfortable listening to his presentation. At the start of the lecture, he had to do a title correction. He did it very smoothly, no problem, unfazed. I like the fact that he smiled throughout the lecture. I think that would make students feel very comfortable. You were very relaxed and confident. I became accustomed to that throughout our training time together, and you did that again today. Good interaction with the audience. At the onset, audience participation. We did a lot of that in our training course. Active learning, active teaching, getting everyone to participate and be a part of the class. And you did that very well today. You used a lot of formulas, graphs, tables, pictures, yet everything seemed so simple. easy to understand. We could follow the lecture and understand it very easily. I think that was very good. Using anecdotes, stories from his personal experience, you know, things he felt passionate about. I think that was also a very good tool in transmitting information to the audience. One of the things I did like, and this has to do with something we practiced, was diplomatic language. When someone had a wrong answer, it wasn't necessary to let the person feel uncomfortable or that it was wrong, sorry. You were very tactful to let the person realize the answer was close, but not quite there. So I did like that also. And that's something we should use as teachers. Interesting about the naming of the computer, you're very time aware. You kept, on a few occasions, looking at your watch. So that was also very good. So thank you very much for a very good presentation, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it.